Good evening, everyone. I hope you all have had a good day so far. We'll begin our presentations in a couple more minutes. If there's anyone left who hasn't joined the meeting yet, please let them know. Khwaish, are you ready to start?
Yeah, sure.
Sure, we'll just start with you in 2 minutes. Thank you.
Sorry?
We'll start with yours in 2 minutes.
Okay.
I think we can start now, Khwaish.
Okay, I'll just present my screen. The host has disabled screen sharing. You might want to enable that.
Can you try again?
Sorry?
Can you try once more?
Yeah, 1 second. Okay, it's working now. Can everyone see my screen? Yeah, all right. Just a second. Okay, let's start. Hi, my name is Khwaish, and today we'll be discussing the importance of knowing your gender rights in workplaces. If you witness discrimination when you're starting work, let's say tomorrow, would you know what your rights are or what to do next? Before we begin, let's all agree on a few ground rules. Everyone's voices should be respected and heard because each and every opinion here matters. I understand that it might be embarrassing or scary to share any such experiences, but if we all agree to maintain a judgment free zone, then we can help each other through these experiences and better our understanding, and better understand possible encounters in the future. Imagine hearing these kinds of remarks at your first job. How would you feel? Have any of you ever been on the receiving end of such comments? If you're comfortable with sharing it, please go ahead. It would be good for everyone to know where you can hear such comments from. Anyone? Okay, if not, then we can move on. These aren't just opinions, they can become a distraction. When employees feel like they're looked down upon or judged just based on their gender, they begin to feel like they have been put into a box and that they're restricted from doing certain activities. Everyone deserves a workplace built on respect, safety, and equal opportunities. Before we talk about the laws, let's understand what we're protecting ourselves from. Gender bias is when someone is treated unfairly simply because of their gender. This could mean being paid less for the same work, being overlooked for promotions, or hearing comments like women aren't good leaders or men shouldn't work in childcare. These stereotypes can limit opportunities and create unfair workplaces. Gender based violence goes a step further. It can include harmful behavior directed at someone just because of their gender. This doesn't mean just physical violence. It can include sexual harassment, unwanted comments, intimidation, stalking, bullying, or even online harassment. Everyone deserves to work in an environment where they feel safe, respected, and valued. The good news is that equality isn't just a moral value, it's protected by the Indian Constitution. Article 14 guarantees equality before the law, meaning everyone should be treated fairly. Article 15 prohibits discrimination based on sex, amongst other grounds. And Article 16 ensures equal opportunity in public employment, so jobs and promotions should be based on merit rather than gender. Finally, Article 21 protects every person's right to live with dignity, which includes the right to a safe and respectful workplace. These constitutional rights form the foundation of many workplace laws. Along with constitutional rights, India has specific laws designed to protect employees. The POSH Act or the POSH Act protects women from sexual harassment at the workplace. It requires organizations with 10 or more employees to have an internal committee where complaints can be reported and investigated fairly. Most employees aren't told this or don't know it, so it's very important to know there is a place you can go to if you are facing any problems. The Code on Wages ensures that men and women receive equal pay for equal work, and the Maternity Benefit Act protects employees during pregnancy by providing paid maternity leave and preventing discrimination because someone is expecting a child. These laws exist to make sure workplaces are fair, safe, and inclusive. So let's put ourselves in a real life situation. Imagine you're in our place as an intern, and your supervisor keeps sending you inappropriate personal messages. After you refuse to respond, you're suddenly left out of important meetings and projects. I'd like everyone to think for a moment. Is this harassment? What rights are being violated? And what would you do? This is an example of workplace sexual harassment and retaliation. The first step is to not blame yourself. Save evidence like messages or emails, document what happened, and report it to your organization's internal committee or HR. Knowing your rights helps you respond with confidence rather than fear. If you ever experience discrimination or harassment, remember these four simple steps. First, recognize that this behavior is not acceptable. Second, keep evidence such as screenshots, emails, dates, and details of what happened. Third, report the issue through workplace's official channels like HR or the internal committee. And finally, if the issue isn't resolved or involves a criminal offense, you can seek help from legal aid organizations, NGOs, the local committee under the POSH framework where applicable, or the police. You don't have to deal with the situations alone, as such bodies are held in place to help you out. Creating an equal workplace isn't only the responsibility of employers, it starts with all of us. We can challenge stereotypes when we hear them, support colleagues who may be experiencing discrimination, speak respectfully, and be active bystanders instead of staying silent. At the same time, organizations should promote equal opportunities, provide safe reporting systems, and take complaints seriously. Real change happens when individuals and workplaces work together to create a culture of respect. There are many misconceptions about gender equality, so let's clear up a few. One myth is that gender equality only benefits women. In reality, everyone benefits from workplaces that are fair, respectful, and inclusive. Another myth is that harassment only involves physical contact. In fact, inappropriate comments, messages, or repeated unwanted behavior can also be harassment. Finally, some people believe reporting misconduct will always ruin their career. While speaking up can feel difficult, laws like the POSH Act include protections against retaliation, and reporting is often the first step towards creating safer workplaces. Gender equality isn't just about following the law, it's about building stronger communities. When people are treated fairly, they perform better, collaborate better, and feel more confident. Businesses benefit from diverse perspectives, and society benefits when everyone has an equal chance to contribute. Equality isn't about giving anyone an advantage, it's about removing unfair barriers so that everyone has the opportunity to succeed. As many of you guys prepare for university, internships, or first jobs, remember that knowing your rights is just as important as developing your skills. If you witness discrimination, don't ignore it. If you experience unfair treatment, know that support is available. And if you have the opportunity to make someone feel included and respected, take it. Each of us has the power to create workplaces where everyone feels safe, valued, and able to thrive. Thank you all for listening. I hope you leave today feeling more informed, confident, and more empowered to build workplaces where everyone is treated with dignity and respect. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. You good? Okay. Thanks.
Thank you, Khwaish. That was very insightful. If there are any questions, I'd request all of y'all to keep them with you till the end of the session. Adrit, would you like to go next?
Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah.
Yeah, is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Adris, and this is my project, Vitality. Move, Nourish, and Thrive. Now, before we start today, I want to start a quick sports and health quiz, right? So I want you all to answer me. Question one: which organ in your body becomes stronger and more efficient with regular exercise and physical activity? A hint: think about what organ pumps blood through your body every second.
Hurt.
Anybody who knows the answer can just unmute themselves and answer. Yes, correct. That's right. Good. Right. The next question. Which sport is famously known around the world as the beautiful game? Right. One hint, the World Cup is going on right now. Question, this one right here. Does anybody know the answer? Okay, so it's football, right? Football is another beautiful game. Next, can you name any one disease or health condition that regular physical activity is known to help prevent or reduce the risk of developing? Essentially, lifestyle diseases. Can you name any one? Well, a few examples can be something like diabetes, hypertension, and some forms of cancer. Now, I'm sure you all have heard this term being used around you very often, sedentary lifestyle, right? So let's define this first. A sedentary lifestyle means spending most of your time sitting or being very physically inactive, and this is one of the biggest threats to your health. And it starts very young, at ages like mine, maybe like in your teenage. So it's very important to know about this. So activities like long hours sitting, studying, watching TV, scrolling on your phone, or playing video games, all of these qualify as sedentary lifestyles. Now, a lot of teens spend 7 to 10 hours a day being inactive without them even realizing it. So that's a major problem our society faces. So honestly, I want you to ask yourselves right now, do you sit more than 4 hours a day? And do you rarely play sports or do you rarely exercise? Then yes, you do live a sedentary lifestyle, which is something that's not good and something that needs to change now. Now let's understand what a lifestyle disease is, right? So I'm sure you all have heard something like diabetes, hypertension. So all of those fall into this category. Now, across the globe, 74% of deaths are caused by lifestyle diseases. Something like type 2 diabetes. It's something that 1 in 11 adults have globally. And if you didn't know, something like heart disease, like I'm sure you know what a heart attack is, like cardiac arrest. That's the number one killer worldwide. And then there's obesity. So 650 million adults. That's a huge number. Obesity affects 650 million adults worldwide. And there are also a few types of cancer and mental health which are directly linked to inactivity. So as you can tell, lifestyle diseases, it's not something to be taken lightly. It's something very serious. Now, these were the three stages of lifestyle diseases. Now, stage one, it's probably where we are right now. Like what some of us may be doing. I'm not saying all, but some. So if you have a lot of junk food, if you don't exercise, if you sit down for long hours, that's stage one, right? That's poor habits. Next is risk factors. When you begin to see some symptoms, right? Like high blood sugar, when your weight starts increasing a lot, or high BP, blood pressure, which leads to diabetes, heart disease, strokes, cancer. So the diseases actually start happening at this point. This is stage two. And lastly is disability and premature death. So when you actually are inflicted by these lifestyle diseases like diabetes, hypertension, things like that, that's when your life it really the quality it just really goes down. Premature death happens. I'm sure you've heard there are people who die of heart attack at very young ages, 30, 40. This is exactly what that is. And physical activity, fitness, and sport I'm literally, it can stop you at any stage. So if you're at stage one, just playing sports, I can just like stop that altogether. That's how important sports is. Now, do you remember COVID 6 years ago? So during COVID, there was this one organization, right? World Health Organization, WHO. I'm sure you've heard of it. So WHO essentially keeps telling us that we should do this, we should do that. This is good for us, that's good for us. So World Health Organization. Now, the WHO it recommends that in 1 week we do only 150 minutes of exercise. That's it, right? And if you do the maths in 150, that means 21 minutes a day. That's all you need to be qualified to qualify somebody who's fit, right? So if you do activities like cricket, football, kabaddi, yoga, or walking, then that should cover all of it. So 150 minutes a day is like your golden number. Remember that. You should do that many minutes of activity in 1 week. Now, this is a slide based on excuses, right? I'm sure you may have heard people around you saying excuses for why they don't exercise, right? Like maybe they're saying that they don't have enough time, or they don't have the right equipment, or they have other things to do. Well, exercise is something that doesn't take long. Like in the previous slide, I told you only 25 minutes is all it takes per day. And if you like don't have dumbbells or something for exercising, then you can do something like push-ups, right? Or you can use other substitutes like heavy bags, books. And if you don't have time, maybe just go for a walk in the evening or a walk in the morning. That should be enough. Hmm. Now, this is a myth buster, right? I'm sure many of you have heard like if somebody is rather healthy, if they're kind of fat, then it's like commonly considered in society that they lead a very unhealthy life, and that they don't eat right, they don't sleep right, they don't live a very active lifestyle, right? Whereas if you see somebody who's like fairly thin, then you by default one will assume that they're healthy and then they have a lot of exercise. But in reality, this is really not true at all. A healthy body comes in many shapes and sizes. And there are just four factors, just four, which determine whether you're healthy or not. One is nutrition, right? So whatever you eat in a day, how many carbohydrates you're getting, how many proteins you're getting, how many fats you're getting. So your what all you eat in a day, that's one factor. Second factor is exercise, which is how much you exercise in one day, right? What I talked about earlier. So only 21 minutes a day. Next is sleep. Now even I didn't know this at first, but even sleep plays a very crucial role in determining if you lead a very healthy lifestyle or not. So if you sleep, let's say 8 to 10 hours in a day, then that's the best. That's the best number for you. Then there's lifestyle, which is habits and choices. So something like, so again, not leading a sedentary lifestyle. Now, this is a quick activity, right? I want you all to raise your hands. This is a raise your hand activity. Speak up honestly, very honestly. So raise your hand if you sat for more than 4 hours yesterday. No? Okay, nice. Raise your hand if you did some physical activity this week. None of you did physical activity yesterday. That's not good. That should change. And last of all, no, not last of all, raise your hand if you know somebody who has something like diabetes or hypertension or something like that. I'm sure many of you should know at least somebody who has diabetes. You do? Okay, good. Next. And lastly, raise your hand if you want to be more active but you don't know where to start. If you really want to start leading a fit life but you honestly have no idea where to start, how to start. Okay, I see a few. Well, you honestly, very speaking, you don't really need much. All you need to do is just start running, walking, doing a few 10-minute exercises. Like go on YouTube, search for exercises, 10-minute workouts. That will help a lot. Trust me, I started exactly like that. Now, I want you all to make a promise to me, right? This is a health pledge. Number one, I will do 21 minutes of physical activity, 7 days a week, walking, cricket, cycling, yoga, any sport I love counts. Just move every single day. I want you all, that's the first promise. You need to do 21 minutes of activity every day. Next, spread the word. I will tell 7 people what I learned today. Like whatever information you gained today about lifestyle diseases and how integral sports is in our life. I want you all to share that with at least 7 people. Next, I will get my blood pressure or blood sugar checked regularly. Now, blood pressure and blood sugar is obviously something, it's like a measure of how healthy you are directly. So you should get your blood pressure and blood sugar checked regularly. So those are the three promises that I want you all to mentally make right now, that you will follow these three every day. And before I leave you, one last thing. I want to tell you a few stories about how sports has really changed life. I'm sure you all have heard who Milkha Singh is. Bhag Milkha Bhag, the sprinter, the best sprinter in India, at least was. So Milkha Singh, right? He survived a very traumatic childhood and extreme poverty to become India's greatest sprinter. Like he constantly trained with extreme discipline, and that's how he got to the absolute top. Next, in Kerala, there was a mandatory physical education and free health screening in school that led to a 30% drop in childhood obesity over 10 years. So this is a prevention before cure kind of thing. Lastly, Deepa Malik. If you don't know who she is, then she was paralyzed below the waist. She couldn't move below her waist, but she used sports like swimming and shot put to manage her condition, and she inspired millions. So yeah, you literally cannot give an excuse that I don't have time because she was paralyzed beneath the waist, and still she became a Paralympian. And lastly, me. I didn't do sports much when like some 5 6 years back, but when I started sports and when I started getting into fitness and exercising, that really changed me. Like my self confidence grew a lot. I became happier with myself. So yeah, sports changes lives a lot. Thank you. If you have any questions, then yeah, I'm here. You can ask me. None. Okay, great. Thank you. That's it for me.
If not questions, then I really like to take Adrit's point forward. I want to ask all of y'all what sports y'all would like to play when you the follow through on the promises you've made today. Anyone can answer. What movement would you like to do?
So I would love to play cricket in the evening.
That's good. Is there anyone who's going to play football because of this?
So I would like to perform swimming at night.
Swimming, cricket, both are very good. What about the rest of y'all?
Sir, I like to play hockey at evening.
That's good. Anyone else? Not Adi, if you're there and you're ready to present, please go forward as well. So then I just want to ask y'all again, like we went through Adrit's presentation. What about Khwaish's presentation? What do you remember from what she taught you, and what is something that you'd like to take forward from this session?
So I have learned that we don't need any excessive exercises to be fit. We just need 21 minutes of exercise to be fit.
Correct, but I'm asking for the first presentation that Khwaish did. What do you all remember from that?
Uh,
We should stop
I rem-
stereotypes, and instead of that, we should give equality.
I learned about POSH Act from like her presentation, and I learned like we have to like raise voice against the sexual harassment at the workplace.
That's correct. Khwaish, would you like to? Is there anything we're missing out on that you'd like to remind them?
They got the basic framework and stuff, but I just want to remind them that they shouldn't keep any stuff to themselves if they're like facing any inconveniences or if they're being discriminated against. They should always bring it up with their HR or any kind of body that handles such questions because it's only going to make the workplace a safer place for you. It's not going to harm your career.
Thank you. I think if Adi is not here yet, I think that's it from our side. Thank you, Adrit. Thank you, Khwaish. And thank you all of you all for joining.